Welcome to the 2020 Trek Fuel EX8. So it's the RACV resort, and they've actually got a little bit of a mountain bike network out here. So a few green trails and a few blues. What do we have on the Fuel EX8? Main headlines, 140 millimeters of travel out front, 130 in the rear. That's all thanks to the Fox Rhythm 34 out front and the Fox Float Evil out the back. Shimano Dior M6000 with 180 millimeter rotor out the front, 160 millimeter rotor out the rear. The SRAM GX drivetrain, why are we not surprised? 29 by 2.6 inch tyres, which is the XR4 team issue. And then to complete the bike, just a sprinkle of Bontrager. I suppose one of the other headlines is that not many people are talking about with this bike, but it does have the universal derailleur hanger, the UDR, which is made in conjunction with SRAM at the moment, but they're hoping to sort of standardise derailleur hangers. So all you'd ever have to do is go into a bike shop, ask for a derailleur hanger please, and you just buy it and go. No fluffing around with ordering derailleur hangers and waiting until the next day. So if this UDR system takes off, it will be one of the greatest revolutions in mountain biking, maybe even in cycling in general. Kangaroo on the trail. The EX8 felt pretty good going down. Go for it. Felt nice and balanced. Didn't feel like I was too far back. And it had a sloppy steering response. Neither did it feel like a twitchy wreck. So geometry is pretty much what you want. Honestly, this is my favourite part of the Spring Gully trails. Just this relatively meandering section by the creek. I'm on a great bike. It's been a great day. You just got the sun setting on your right. This is why you ride. You ride for moments like this. Just finishing up the ride and having a sunset almost completely. So the initial thoughts are that the Fuel EX remains relatively the same, but it is definitely improved. Feels like a lot lighter of a bike thanks to the removal of the full floater system. They've just tuned the shock up a bit better to compensate for that extra linkage. All the Bontrager components work as per usual, so miraculously the drop line is pretty much as great as it's ever been. The XR4's pretty good, and the handling's pretty spot on. Haven't felt any understeer or oversteer. The back ends remain where I wanted to. Front end's nimble. Alright, so we're back out at Spring Gully, just doing the hot lap testing. It's currently 31 degrees, and it's pretty much that humid that I can just drink the air and I'll be fine for hydration. Alright, so hot lap time's been done. At the moment, sitting on provisional lap time is now the 2020 Trek Fuel EX8 with a time of 11 minutes and 58 seconds. On the flying lap, most promising sector, probably second sector. So that's where you've got damn wall jumps and drops. And we have to climb up the staircase. It descends and flows quite well. It rock hops like nothing else. And it climbs equally as well. So we're just making our way up track 2's climb. which is just a bit of a switchback climb with nothing overly special about it, other than it gets you to some of the best ascending trails at the park. So one of the things about this year's Fuel EX8 is that I'm actually riding the more conservatively coloured paint scheme, which is the gloss black on dark gunmetal grey. But in my opinion, the better one is actually the radioactive purple, whatever they call it, on black. It's a nice colour scheme that pops and honestly goes underappreciated. Maybe the best colour scheme, aside from the Trek Fuel EX's 7 counterpart with the copper and matte black, and even the EX 9.8 with the Viper red and black colour scheme. Otherwise, Trek have got some fairly safe options, but then you've got the more extreme ones, like I believe to be the 9.8 in the Miami green. So our main goal today is just to test it on the descents. That's why I'm taking it relatively easy up these climbs and talking to you guys. Look at that view. You cannot just admire that view. That is beautiful. Alright, bit of wet rock, so hopefully I don't suck too much. Suspension is nice and plush. Definitely taking some of these hits in stride. The tyres are working well across all different surfaces. Being slick rock, really grippy granite, up, and of course your wet packed dirt. Bit of a mini drop. Yeah. Bit of a rock shoot. Alright. Everyone's just scrubbing. And they're quite recent scrub marks, so I better not join them and try and drift. Let's just make this a smooth run. Look at that, kangaroos. That's how you know this review is Australian. Is we have kangaroos going right across the track. The elusive climb. Start out wide, come up here, and nailed it. Okay, cool. So the slash was not so great at that, but then again, it didn't quite have the climbing position like I have with this bike. By speccing these wider tyres, I feel like they've got a wider operational window. They feel great on loose on hard pack, yeah, but they're really dealing with this wet rock really well. Now this is another one of the tricky climbs. So drop the dropper, here we go, and it hauls its way up. Let's go. Oh, run it out, it's got control again, good. This thing's an absolute party animal. Well, whoop. Trail 9 technical climbing challenge after 2 false starts. Right, that line felt cleaner. Yeah, go wide on the apex, bit slow in, but there we go. All right, so today's test, the minnow link. We have finally set it into the high position, so therefore our head tube's a bit steeper, our seat tube's a bit steeper, and our bottom bracket's been raised a bit. This all means that we're pretty well dialed for cross country and climbing. I've been trying to hook this thing into turns a bit harder than I was before, and it's going much better. I'm able to hop over rocks a bit better. I feel like I'm also in a bit more of a neutral position for just your trail cross country riding. The low setting's great for descending, I love that, but for this trail bike, I reckon the high settings are a really good place to start. Get people used to how the bike corners and how they can climb with it, and then if they want to take it downhill a bit more, then they can chuck it into low setting. So the Fox suspension, great, love it. Especially love how on the rear shock, when you have it in lockout mode and you climb mode, all you have to do is really bump it and it flicks all the way to left and goes into full open for descending. So it means you can climb up and just give it a slight nudge and it goes all the way back into open mode for your descent. So with the Slash 8 review, one of the take-home messages I had was that it was stable yet nimble, and that sort of summarised how my expectations then transformed into my opinion. For this bike, my statement's going to be up and down it's fast. So why up and down it's fast? Well, obviously with 140mm travel out front and 130 in the rear, Trek are aiming to have this as a more competent technical descender, and that is true, and it has translated over well. You chuck this thing into the low setting, then it goes downhill like nothing else. Easily controlled in the corners, floats over rock gardens well, jumps equally as well. Everything you want out of a mid-travel trail bike. But now with it in the high setting on the minnow link, I'm really finding that the climbing aspect of this has really come alive. This is phenomenal in the high mode. I'm honestly startled. The steering response is so much better. My ground clearance is amazing. And it's only been changed by a tiny link, barely 2 centimeters long. And yet what I have now is something that feels similar to the low mode, but it just feels so much better. I love it in the high mode. So that's why I want to give it the up and down it's fast sort of summary, because my expectations were pretty high coming into this, and they were being met when I was riding this, but now with the high mode it really does feel different and it feels great. I'd say that the EX8 is phenomenal, and it doesn't do it easily, but it does get into the phenomenal bracket. So the phenomenal aspects about it is that you do get your GX Eagle, you get the Fuel EX chassis, which is great. The Lotus purple paint scheme, oh my god, it is beautiful. And then you have your knock block, you have your standard components from Bontrager, which are all alloy. It's pretty good. The XR4s definitely help elevate it to the phenomenal standpoint. So it was a good choice that they went with the 2.6 XR4s and not last year's 2.4s. But the Fuel EX8 gets a phenomenal on the scale, purely because it is a refinement of the great Fuel EX chassis we've come to know. And then they've just done a few minor improvements. Mainly, we've got 140 out the front, but majorly, the revision to the seat tube angle really has helped. So until next time, keep riding and stay awesome.